I took the Jeep for the wheel alignment and it's sweet, all good. The only hassle I did find with it was driving home when we hit about 70, we are getting vibrations. I wouldn't call them strong, they're about, an aggressive mud tyre vibration and, pretty minimal. Gathering they're probably going to get worse with wheel speed, with those 3-5 ratios, that trail shaft is certainly doing some RPMs, and with that 10-degree angle, it's really not loving life. So I think I mentioned over the past, we might look at options. I did just go with the quickest and easiest option, which was a couple of days out of the States. Bless you, buddy. Okay. Just the hack and tap kit from Iron Rock Off-Road. I think it's pretty simple. Look out, look out. We literally just cut the back off of we might not even cut it, we're going to have a look at all that stuff. Slip the back of this off over where our slip yoke is, drill and tap a hole, and this literally gets bolted onto our output shaft, and we end up using the front drive shaft because it runs the double cardan joint and the CV, so it has the telescopic properties. And we'll run a second front drive shaft in the rear. There's a couple reasons why I really opted for this. Is cost, $120 or something like that. Speed, this is quick, man. They do say we're still running the 27 spline shaft, where the heavy duty, you can get a heavy duty 32 or 34 spline or something. I don't think I'm going to need that on this rig here. She'll be right. The tyres aren't that big on it. So yeah, price guys, speed, install, fine. But I think the best thing about it all will honestly be running those 2 front drive shafts. I think that's just a winner. If something happens, I've been remote with other cars, not necessarily with the Jeep, but if something does happen 4-wheel driving, we do have a winch, and we have, something catastrophic happens with the drive shafts, we can rip the front one out and put it in the back, and we can get it home at least. So minimal spare parts on the track as well. So just too many, positives to weigh up. So I do have a front drive shaft. Just drove out to Laidley. A bloke met me at Laidley. They come out of Toowoomba, so saved me about an hour and a half out of a day. So that was awesome. We got to check. So it'll be a little bit of a pinion angle change when we chuck this thing in. So first things first, I guess we'll take that drive shaft out, and we'll dummy up and see whereabouts we're gonna have to cut. Whereabouts we're gonna have to cut this transfer case spline and drill and tap it. So let's get cracking on the old hack and tap kit from. So guys, this is what we're looking at. Drive shaft's just sitting there. All too familiar transfer case and diff. And this is our new hack and tap yoke. It will just be sliding on there. Well, most of the time you have to cut this spline down, but we're not going to just jump straight into cutting it without checking. How far does that go back? It looks like it's it. So it can go back all the way to there. We're just going to have to quickly dummy up our front drive shaft as a rear drive shaft. So drill and tap in there. Let's see. Got my knee on it at the moment, so that's pretty much, this is exactly what the front shaft looks like. double cardan joint up here. CV slides in and out. Oof, nearly dropped on me. And rear yoke. So, yeah, just popped out, that's alright. So, running this style of drive shaft, instead of having your diff and your transfer case flat, you're on your pinion to nearly be shooting straight at that yoke. Down maybe 2-3 degrees. So we'll have to suss that out. And the other thing I'm just sort of comparing at the moment while we're in here is how, like, you know, our out length and our in length, and I'd like to have it about halfway, you know. So if you look at that, comparing it to that, looks like we're gonna have to lose about 20 mil. Oh, really just fell apart. Need roller bearings are intact. Oh ho 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 ho. Hoo hoo hoo. Lucky. What are you doing, buddy? Why are you getting a hammer out? Man, the life of having a 3-year-old. He's so good, he's so great to have in the shed, but damn! Gets into everything. He's so good. Yeah, buddy? Can you please put it back? Sockets gone. Oh, you know what we actually have to do before we get too carried away? Probably the biggest reason everyone runs this kit. Take the transfer case dropout, man. Because we're running a, you know, CV with a double cardan, we take these spacer blocks out and we push that transfer case back up, and we get that back up an inch. How good will that be? So, I guess first things first. So maybe by the time we take that transfer case drop out, that might be that 20 mil, you know, that we need. But then again, pointing the diff straight at the transfer case will, well, that's the other thing, guys. I'm jumping around a bit here. Try to follow me. Before, I was 55 mil of engagement on this with the stock drive shaft. 55 mil engagement, it's fine. When I twisted that diff, when I shimmed the diff straight, because it was up on an angle like this and it's pulled it straight, we actually went down to 37 mil engagement on this yoke. So as you can imagine, you know, that much. So that's not enough, guys. That's not enough. Not enough. So that's pretty much what has started this, and then the driveline vibration. Oh yeah, guys, that's exactly what has started this. Before I even drove the Jeep, I bought this kit. Express posted. Come in like 4 days, so pretty bloody good. I bought it on a Sunday. So yeah, that's America's Saturday. Monday is their Sunday, so it got posted Tuesday, and it was here Friday. That's pretty bloody good. So the good thing about this as well, when we take these out, it won't stuff our arms up because they are part of a separate bracket. We can fully pull these apart separately. So we'll probably just chuck a jack under here for now, take these off, push this up with the jack, and do the nuts up. So, I don't know if I'll bother filming that because that's pretty boring. But I'll do that now. And we might work on getting the diff facing. That transfer spline tonight. So tomorrow is just a simple cut, tap, done. Hopefully. I can't actually believe I forgot the whole ditching the transfer case thing. It's pretty cool. So we've got our blocks out there, our old bolts that went through, and our new ones. The drop never really fazed me till we lifted it, and that transfer case really did hang down low. We're looking right into the light here, so apologise for that. But we get to lift this transfer case right up. Get a fair bit of extra height out of that now. I don't know if I showed you this before. I should have. I totally forgot. Hey buddy, can you please... That's what I mean, man. What is that doing there? Can you please put it back where you got it? Thank you. Damn, man. That is... I don't know if you guys seen before. That's like a side-on view now. That was at the jack stand there. So pretty incredible. We get a little bit of lift out of the transfer case as well as fixing our other issues. So I'll button them up and probably cut these shims in half, and hopefully it gives us a good enough angle for that transfer case. Alright guys, it is the next morning. Wrapped up last night. I did take those shims apart. I chucked just a 4-degree shim in, and it was still sitting too flat, so we just do have the laser here. I just took all the shims out. We're just running back to factory, you know, straight off the leaf. But we'll have a look on the laser, see how we're looking down there. Let's have a look at our angle. Now this is just a generic construction laser. It's got a few different settings on there. You know, crosshatch, horizontal line, vertical line, dots, and a locked cross section. So that's what we're going to be using, the locked cross section. We're going to try, I don't know if you can see this yoke very well, but we're going to try to get it bang on that yoke there. So you can see those two lines disappearing and coming back. That's because I'm just trying to square it up, so you know you sort of see how you're not square, you sort of see the bottom line. So we're trying to square it up there, get the horizontal line in the center of the yoke, and we'll just try to see those two red lines so we know we're sitting straight. And up this end on the yoke, coming off the transfer case, if we're sitting straight on the diff, those two lines about there. So towards the bottom, probably the bottom of that transfer case is what I'd say there. Like, sorry, bottom of the shaft. Now they advised me to be about 2 to 3 degrees down. If I'm shooting at the bottom of that spline, I think that'll be close enough for us. So that's pretty much good. I mean, you know, I'm pretty happy with that. I think that made sense what we did there, guys. So yeah, we'll go through, we'll chuck that drive shaft back in now that it's flat on the ground with a half decent pinion angle, and we'll have a quick measure. And so we'll have to chop roughly 20mm off the transfer case spline. That's no biggie, we'll get her up in the air and chop that off. Drill and tap, and that'll be pretty much it for the hack and tap install. Not too hard, guys, pretty good.
One eternity later.
So guys, as you've just seen, we just cut about 35mm off the spline off the input shaft or the output shaft. And that is so our hack and tap new yoke gives us enough clearance for that drive shaft. So guys, as you've just seen, we just cut about 35mm off the spline off the input shaft or the output shaft. And that is so our hack and tap new yoke gives us enough clearance for that drive shaft. That's pretty much, that's what they recommend to do. They say a minimum of 1¼ inch thread engagement. We still got 45mm, still got heaps. Now guys, I just got a drill bit, the exact size of that hole. And hopefully you can see that. I've just put a little tiny, you know, push hard with the drill bit with a couple of rotations just to get a center line or a center mark, and then we'll go through and drill that with a pilot hole. And with our drill bit, which is like a 5/16 or something for that tap. But as you can see as well, we're probably on the border of what we can use with this lid yoke. I might even cut that back 10mm. So yes, maybe that is also the go. I have to move you guys because that's right where I want to be. It's very important to drill straight here. Now we're just tapping this hole, guys. I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't nervous this whole time. Look at that. Definitely nervous. Pretty big mistake if it's not right. Be up for a new transfer case shaft for sure. Bit of a big job that is. Now we will just test fit everything in its final position. I've cut this down a little bit, only about 6 mil. Moment of truth here. If we drilled and tapped this good enough, used to be alright. It's not in properly. That's it properly. That's it installed, guys. Well, more or less, you know. That's what we're going for, guys. Put those straps back on. Good little bit of slip. Double cardan joint. Put them bolts in. And do it all up. Not too bad, really. That was alright. Nothing else really to show you, just do all that stuff up, torque that up. I think it's at 30 foot-pound, but yeah, plus plenty of Loctite on it, and yeah, pretty much take it for a spin, see if it gets rid of those vibrations. Fingers crossed, guys, 'cause that would be unreal if we can do that. Anyway, I'll probably crack on with making. I got some seats. Got some seats for a boat to make today, so probably should do that. I'll take her out, slip yoke around the gaffs later and put in the lathe and cut it off nicely, all true and stuff, you know. And yeah, that'll probably be us. Well, guys, I will cut into either the test drive or show and use a bit of flexi flex on the old suspension, see how she goes. Cut to that now, eh?